Yo, what's up guys? Today we're gonna talk about the critical pulse. Also, I have updated my spreadsheet. I put the critical pulse into the best ranking, and for the accessories, I also added the critical pulse PS7 outer space. And of course, we got the critical pulse build among the other builds. I will put the link for this spreadsheet in the description. So if you take a look at the keyword, it's gonna do 50% of your PSI as a status damage, and you're gonna have less accuracy, but the damage will not decay with the distance. I'm gonna make this short and simple. So when you just hit a target, there's 70% chance will drop a particle. When you pick it up, you're gonna get into a charged state. You see above my health bar that shows I'm in the charged state, and when I hit, I will do a charge damage, which is gonna do dual status damage up to 5 stacks. So simply, this is insane compared to something like a bingo. They completely remove the description in the bingo, but in the bow we still have stacks. It's not the damage they nerf, it's just the stacks. Speaking of stacks, we are going with the Mayfly goggles, which gonna give you trigger count +1. So instead of 5 stacks, you're gonna have 6 stacks. This is gonna make the bow way more OP than compared to something like a overload pants. Cost of power surge damage is gonna be lower, but still it's not the damage, it's just the stacks. And we are going with 3 savior. And also, if you're going someone against a bow, I would highly recommend going with the Stormweaver, because you're gonna have 6 stacks. So if you have 3-piece Stormweaver, you basically gonna get 6 stacks from the Stormweaver with 1 hit. So Stormweaver 3-piece gonna be the best counter. So it's either 3 Stormweaver or 3 savior. Then go with the Tide, which gonna give you weapon damage reduction, and then go with the Shelter, which gonna give you status damage reduction. And for the mods, we are going with the Static Shock. This is going to give you power surge damage 20%, cost of status duration, but your stacks not going to be affected by this. And for the armor mods, Helm, we are going with the Work Proficiency. This is going to give you reloading speed and elemental damage. You need to get maximum reload speed as possible with this build. And for the top, I have made a guide about battle mods. If you are going with 3 savior, go with Endurance Shield. If you are going with 3 Stormweaver, go with Resist. When you lose the stacks from the Resist, you're going to gain the Stormweaver stacks. This is a win-win with the Stormweaver. For the bottom, we are going with the Life Force. There's nothing really useful. Elemental Resonance, this is really bad for the bow. And for the shoes, we are going with the Covered Advance for open PvP. And for the gloves, we are going with the Elemental Overload. In the shoe mod, we are getting status damage, so we're gonna balance it out with the Elemental Overload. And for the mask, we are going with the Thunderclap. Don't use First Electrocution. So once you hit, enemy gonna have Surge stacks. So this wouldn't work. When you proc Surge 20 times, it's gonna be easy with the key armor and this weapon. You're gonna do insane amount of shock damage. And for the accessories, the side wouldn't affect. What we need is accuracy, but we are not getting anything out of these 3. And for the ammo, go with the Golden Arrow. This gonna give you PSI. So the more PSI you have, the higher UA stacks and the shock damage gonna be. But if you can craft the Golden Arrow, you can go with the Purple Arrow. This gonna give you damage per shot, which isn't really beneficial, but you get in PSI 15%. And for the substat, weapon and the mask, go with the Suffix mod. It's gonna give you power surge damage and the shock damage, and pick one of the reductions. Have 2 Suffix mod, which gonna give you power surge damage and shock damage, then focus on the status damage and the elemental damage. Just balance everything equally, then get reduction around 40%, at least 30%. And for the foot buff, we are going with the Sandwich. This is going to give you minus 20% damage from other players, and then use Strategy. This is going to give you movement speed. For the drink, go with the Iced Tea. This is going to give you rolling and movement speed. Then go with the Whimsical Drink. This is going to give you status damage. And for the calibration, go with the Portable Style. This is going to give you movement speed just by playing the weapon. Your secondary gonna be the MPS7 outer space. This is really bad. You're gonna have the least accuracy because of the power surge. We need a lot of accuracy, so we are going with the multi-break. And for the optic, we are going with the reflex sight. This is gonna give you stability. And for the laser sight, we are going with the tactical laser sight. And for the magazine, go with the weighted SMG mag. And for the ammo, go with the golden ammo. This is gonna give you more PSI. More PSI equal more status damage. If you can't craft them, just go with the purple ammo. And for the calibration, go with the heavy style, dual elemental, because we're gonna have reload speed with our helmet mod. So use the MPS7 when the enemy is like really close. Try to use the bow much as you can instead of the MPS7. And for the cradle, go with the anti-pace. This is gonna give you more damage to the bow and your secondary. And go with the rapid air. This is gonna give you less cooldown time when you're healing. Go with the tactical combo. The weapon damage doesn't really matter, but there's nothing else to put. Status enhancement, you're gonna get status damage for 3 seconds after hitting. And deviation energy defense, when you have the deviant, you can get 10% weapon and status damage reduction. Then go with the elemental sense. This is gonna give you elemental damage. And then lastly, we go with this one. This is gonna give you power surge damage. And we can put one more, which is gonna be the energy surge. It's gonna give you more recovery to the deviant when it's in the cooldown. That's it for the today video, guys. The bow is better than the bingo. And thanks for watching, and peace out.